So if they were to have picked 72 overall or later in those drafts, then they would not have Carlos Correa. They would not have George Springer. You get my point. They would not be the Astros as we know the Astros to be now, without those picks in those years. So, long term, the problem for Houston is they're not going to have the farm system at some point that they are used to having. And let's face it, they made some coy moves trading-wise, okay? Getting Verlander from Detroit at the trade deadline. Getting Cole. What a steal that was from Pittsburgh. And I could have another show on how porous decisions the Pirate organization has made, but I'll save that for Phil Chaplin, if I may. But they've made coy trades, and they've built up a really good farm system. Now, I have the privilege, I guess you'd call it that, of watching their high A team in the Carolina League on a regular basis, and I've seen players come through there who have made impact at the major league level. Kyle Tucker came through there. Christian Javier, the pitcher who may be the number 5 starter this year, who throws in the upper 90s, was there last year. Seth Beer out of Clemson University, NCAA football runner-up, Clemson Tiger. Haven't even talked about how LSU just looked totally impressive last night in the championship game. Did you guys watch that? That's what's good about sports, is when you watch a game like that. But this team in Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of the high A Astro team, has put out some pretty good talent. Now you're going to weaken your farm system at a time, remember, where Verlander's not getting younger. They've lost Garrett Cole. We know that Springer is challenging the arbitration system this year. He and the Astros are $5 million apart. They possibly will lose some of these talented players to free agency. And where are they going to scoop up? My point being, I think the Astros are in for a decline. And I think that this year, this cloud will affect the Houston Astros and their performance on the field. And don't you just know, as Lenny from Long Island called in a few minutes ago and said he thinks that Fear's first game against Houston's nationally televised in Houston, don't you know that when the Astros go on the road to a place, let's just say, Andrea Lamont, Fenway Park in Boston, can you imagine the Red Sox not giving them you-know-what for? Now, we don't know what will happen with Boston yet, so maybe that's not a great example. But put them in Yankee Stadium. Put them in any stadium where you've got competition going on. And don't you just know the fans are going to, can you imagine? I haven't looked at the schedule, but are the Astros playing the Dodgers in L.A. this year, interleague? Would that not be a game to watch and to be in the stands to see? And George, I tell you what, I like your post. I will take care of Kate. I think I can calm her down and put her back on the right track. It's the least I can do. So if you see her, tell her to give me a call. My number's already been posted. We'll take care of that, okay? So that's my rant. That's my position. That's where I'm at on the Astros and the issues surrounding them this morning. I think there will be much more to come. I don't think this issue is over. So let's keep our eye on it. There are a few more things going on in baseball other than this. I haven't even talked about Joey Cora and possible punishments he may face. There are trade rumors out there still involving David Price. Castellanos and Ozuna are still free agents. Ivan Nova signed with the Tigers. Not a major deal, but Detroit at least, I mentioned this on a previous show a few weeks ago. Detroit going out and signing players like Jonathan Scope, now Ivan Nova. No, they're not going to compete. But at least the Detroit Tigers are giving their fan base some players and some reason to think, hey, down the road right now, at least our ownership is making some effort to put the best product we can considering where we are out there. A lot of talk about Nolan Arenado. I talked about him a lot yesterday. Still no movement there. I reported yesterday that the Cardinals seem to be moving up in the surge. I still think the Yankees have the best package. And if they don't, the Braves do. There's so many teams that aren't considered contenders. They're considered pretenders. But at least they're making strides. Laney talked about Toronto a lot this morning. I've just mentioned Detroit. I think this year, if we can remove the cloud of doubt of integrity that's now surfaced from the game could be some of the best we've ever seen. We'll keep our eye on it, won't we? Look, guys, it's been great being with you this morning. I got a little news to tell you. This is going to be good. In fact, it's going to be great, okay? Again, more than 10 users in the chat room this morning for this show. This is like the third time in a row. Mal Powell, Rotorius, George, Lenny, Doug, Dale, Chris, Corona, Andrea, Phil Chaplin. Great to see you guys in. Tonight at 7 o'clock. Hear me here. You ready? Tonight at 7 o'clock, it's a return. It's the dynamic duo. We are returning. Phil Chaplin and I will be on tonight at 7. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a little preview, if you will, of what some of the things we're going to be talking about. The number is 3. We're going to talk about 3 guys that aren't getting talked about as much as they should in fantasy. We're going to talk about 3 pitchers whose average draft position is extremely low and should be higher. And finally, well, maybe not finally, but one more topic. How about that? We're going to talk about tonight at 7. Closers you can actually trust. How about that? So, 3 guys that aren't getting talked about enough. 3 pitchers, starting pitchers, whose average draft positions are way too low. And closers you can trust. It'll be Chappie and Arnie tonight at 7 o'clock. So get back in the chat room at 7. I want to see you there. I want to talk to you. I want you to be with us. Looking forward to it. Thank you for being with me this morning. Everyone have a great day. Thank you, Lenny and Andrea, for this network, for your input this morning. Can't wait to see Andrea's guide come out. I didn't pay enough attention to the chat room this morning. Maybe I should have. I did read the note about Kate Upton. Somehow that one got to me, right? George did say, as I get ready to close the deal, for Tyler O'Neill, Dakota Hudson, Carlos Martinez, and Matt Liberatore was on the table. For Arenado, we'll have to see. I think in the fantasy draft, I'm probably up. At least I'm close. So I'll be picking that as soon as I go off the air in just a moment. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. I'll be with you again on Thursday. And until then, this is Arnie from Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. Have a good one.